Welcome to the Dare to Grow Show. I'm Sarah Morgan, and my mission is to help you take daily action in your business, show up consistently and confidently for your audience, and earn more with digital products and programs. I know you have a rad vision for your life and business, but do you dare to grow? Let's jump into this episode and talk about how to make it happen. Welcome back to the Dare to Grow Show. Today, we are going to talk about success. And I am so excited to bring you another panel episode because something you've probably noticed in the online business industry is the weird success markers, like 100K followers on Instagram or 6 figures in revenue or 5-figure launches, which really have nothing to do with your business or your budget. And while those are nice benchmarks for growth, they're also kind of fleeting because as soon as we hit them, we're on to the next level, the next benchmark, the next success marker. Now, I posed this question, what makes you feel successful, to the panelists in an open-ended way, knowing full well that they might come back and say, when I hit this much money or had this many clients, I finally felt successful. But not surprisingly, that is not what happened. So today you're going to hear from D'Ana Joi Spencer, a multi-passionate educator, and graphic designer, Stephanie Owens. But first, I will share my list of things that makes me feel successful because it's different for everyone. Those random monetary numbers really don't mean anything in the day-to-day running of your business. So the number one thing that makes me feel successful is time freedom. The flexibility to take time off for fun stuff. Just flew back home for 2 weeks to hang out with my family. And for difficult life stuff, I've also taken time off to fly back home for funerals and when my dad got sick. And on Friday, I had a ton of anxiety and was struggling to focus. I literally spent the first couple of hours wandering around my apartment, doing little things here and there, but I just couldn't get myself to focus on work. So instead of forcing myself to sit down and trudge through it, I decided to take the rest of the day off, went to the pool, listened to a podcast episode, got some sun, and let my body and brain get back on track. Being able to take care of myself like that feels like success. I also feel successful when my clients make a big shift in their confidence or when they get new clients themselves or when they just feel better about the day-to-day running of their business. Last week, one of my clients who had planned to record a workshop decided she was going to try doing it live instead. Just out of the blue, showed up on our call and was like, I think I'm going to try this live. This same client who told me on day one that she was afraid of showing up on video and really didn't want to focus on that. So 2 months later, she's going for it. And that makes me feel really good. Also, the discussions we have in the Essentials coaching calls, when everyone is getting excited and motivated and they're all taking notes like crazy and asking great questions. Or when my Essentials members work together on something or become actual friends, when they're like, oh yeah, we were texting over the weekend. That warms my little heart because running a business online gets really lonely sometimes. So seeing my clients and my Essentials members have these little success moments of their own, not just the data or the milestones. And also stuff like being able to sleep in instead of feeling like I have to jump out of bed and get started. I can get Hazel to come snuggle with me and scroll through Instagram. The thing about this type of success versus those monetary milestones is that you don't have to wait for it. It's little things that can happen every single day, so you feel inspired and motivated by what's happening in your own business. So I'm going to pass the mic off to Joy so she can share what success looks like for her.
Hi, my name is D'Ana Joi, and I'm a multi-passionate creative educator, content creator, and community builder, as well as a mentor. And when I think about success in my business and what that means to me and what makes me feel successful, it's how often am I creating something that is coming from a space of having no apology. And I say that because as a multi passionate creative, I spent a really long time operating from a place where I felt that I had to constantly apologize for changing my mind, apologize for pivoting, apologize for trying something new that hadn't been tried before, apologizing for not niching down. And it wasn't that I was literally saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but it was this feeling of shame that I had in my body, and that translated to how I ran my business. And so I would half step, or I would not take as big of a risk, or I wouldn't put myself out there because I was operating under this presumption that me being a multi passionate was going to offend someone. And in not fully showing up and expressing myself, that was an apology for the multi passionate aspect of myself. But through the years, I coached myself and mentored myself and really did a lot of self development work, and finally found mentors who I aligned with, who could support me in really bringing me out of that state and into a more empowered place. And I started to do embodiment work, which really catapulted me into a new level of unapology. And so when I think about being successful in business, it's, am I operating my business from an unapologetic place? Am I simply doing what I desire to do? Of course, there are going to be times and spaces in our business where there are tasks that we don't want to do, but can I be unapologetic about my choice to make a list of those tasks and then have a plan for outsourcing? Absolutely. So, the more that I operate under this newfound unapologetic framework, the more successful I feel as a business owner, regardless of the income, regardless of the number of clients. If I know that I'm making the most aligned decisions that I can for myself, then the chances of me reaching some measure of success in whatever form that occurs are so much higher. And that's really what's been coming up for me lately in this season of my life, as I'm opening up new containers and trying out different things and pivoting my business model. It's really living from this space of not apologizing, not apologizing for changing my mind, not apologizing for a pivot. Here's a perfect example. I don't do one-on-one coaching. I do one on one a la carte sessions, and I don't have that anywhere on my website. It's not something that I really talk about very much. But if someone inquires and I like their energy and I have the energetic bandwidth, then I might do an a la carte session. But I do not offer one on one coaching in my business. I find it to be pretty energetically draining. I prefer to teach in a workshop setting, a masterclass setting, or to coach in a small group. And if I were to say, well, I'm just going to have one or two high ticket clients because it'll help with the cash flow of my business, that's operating through the lens of an apology. That action is an apology and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't like this. I'll just do it anyway." But me choosing to not have a one on one offering in my business, that's operating without apology. And it feels so different. And it feels so much more empowering. And in my mind, if you can feel empowered in your decisions as a business owner and you can feel aligned with your offerings, that's going to translate into everything else that you do. And that is success. Success is so relative. It's something that we really truly get to define almost in a moment by moment basis. There are some days where being successful means logging the fuck off, closing the laptop and going outside. There are some days where being successful might feel like crunching through and staying up late and getting it done. There are other days where being successful might mean just coming up with really beautiful email copy that really resonated with my audience and getting a few replies. But all in all, if I look at where I am now and my journey and how far I've come, the most major shift that has happened for me is operating from a place where I am 100% unapologetic about who I am, how I show up, who I'm here to serve, and how I choose to create this beautiful ceremony in my life that is my business. So I can't wait to hear what your listeners think of being successful in business. And I hope that this sparks something in someone and gives you something to think about.
I love that you talked about this. I actually got chills listening to your answer. This has been something I've been focused on lately myself, like listening to my gut reaction and making sure I'm doing things because they feel good to me and not just because I feel like I should or I was told it has to be a certain way. And I so appreciate the reminder that being apologetic sometimes doesn't include an actual apology, and it's more about our actions and the things we're doing and why we're doing them. Thank you so much, Joy. Next up, we're going to hear from Stephanie. She and her husband own Gold Sheep Design, which is a design studio with major rock and roll and science fiction vibes. You definitely need to check out their Instagram once you're done listening to this podcast.
Success to me as a business owner doesn't necessarily have much to do with the monetary gains over time, but more so the quality of living that I'm able to have. And a lot of that for me is choosing my own schedule. When do I get to get up? When do I call it a day? When do I have client meetings? When am I free to play guitar or go to the grocery store in the middle of the day? Or my dog, she recently had a stroke. So being able to take mornings off twice a week and take her to physical therapy so she can get better. So it's also about having the time to take care of myself too, not having to rush to a job and able to like slow down in the mornings and meditate and exercise and journal and to be able to, go get lunch with my husband whenever I want to in the middle of the day. So success, a big part of it is the schedule. It's also having time to take care of myself while also being able to pay the bills. But at the end of the day, I only want to work with clients who like really light me up. And I'm like, this is an amazing project. I've had some clients in the past where it just seemed like I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I could just keep my day job. And so for me, knowing we had the money coming in and those clients that really excited me to work with, that's when I was like, you know what? The day job has got to go now. Another big part of it is being able to have those clients that I love have huge success too. Like when my clients have wins, we have wins. And being a part of companies and brands and personal brands that are making a difference in the world and proving that you don't have to have the typical life that society often tells us we need to have. And those are the types of brands I like to work with. And if I can help them be successful, then I'm a success. If I can have time for myself whenever I need it to take care of myself and my family, that's a success. And if I can get up a little late, that's a success too. I do love some monetary success, but I think a lot of it, I don't want to be one of those really famous business owners or influencers or tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. I want to have a quiet life and work with clients that are cool and work on cool projects, maybe make some products, just work on my lettering, play guitar whenever I want. That's success.
Thank you for sharing that, Stephanie. I love that you talked about the freedom that comes with monetary success and how it supports your life outside of your business. These episodes are always a fun surprise for me because I ask really open-ended questions. I never know what people are going to send back. But I love that we're all finding success in not just the monetary milestones, but what those milestones allow us to do. Which leads us to a fantastic journal prompt for all you business owners. What does success look like for you now? And what could it look like for you in the future? So what projects would you work on? Who would you be working with? How would you spend your time outside of your business? And also, what does your ideal day look like? The ideal day can be a whole separate journaling exercise. If everything worked out perfectly, if money was no problem, time wasn't an issue, what would your day look like? Because reminder, you are in charge, you are the boss, so you get to make that ideal day happen. Even if it's changing one small thing at a time, even if you are so far away from it, I really believe you can make it happen. Even now, 9 years in, I still like to journal on this because it helps me, like Joy said, to be unapologetic in everything I do and actually take advantage of the freedom that being an entrepreneur creates. So I hope this was an inspiring episode for you. I know I'm feeling inspired and excited to really relish all the moments of success in between the data points, because life isn't about being a little worker bee until you hit a random monetary goal. It's about soaking in the moments of success that being an entrepreneur allows you to experience every single day. So thank you to Joy and Stephanie for hanging out this week, and to you for listening. I would love to chat more about what success looks like for you. So find me on Instagram at @XOSarahMorgan. Look for the episode 76 graphic, and let's discuss. All right, talk to you again next week. Oh, and one more thing before I go. If you have more questions on what we talked about today, you want templates, trainings, or some accountability to make that shit happen, head over to exosarah.com/essentials and become a member of The Essentials. You will get instant access to the courses, coaching calls, and community. And this way I can help you simplify your marketing, show up with confidence, and dare to grow every single day.